Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Night of Wrestling. I'm Robbie Diltz. Alongside, we have Paul returning finally. Welcome back, Paul.
Yes.
And of course,
I'm
we
back.
have Dylan Koros, aka The Dill.
Howdy do.
And as you can probably see under each person's name, well, of course, I'm going with my old Night of Wrestling name, Roberto Del Rio, and of course, Dylan obviously chose The Dill.
And I was not let in on this joke, so here we go. It's just my name.
All right, and so today we are making our WrestleMania 36 predictions, and there is currently 16 matches listed via Wikipedia. So we will hopefully run through these, I wouldn't say quickly, but I know we have a lot to talk about. So the first match, Otis versus Dolph Ziggler with Mandy Rose in Dolph Ziggler's corner. Paul, we'll start with you.
With me, oh dear God. Feet to the fire already. Okay, here we go. You know what? I think if this was in front of a live crowd, Otis would win. I want to say that right out the gate. But I think they want to try to kind of have that moment in front of a crowd whenever that might be. So for that reason, I am going with Dolph Ziggler for the win.
All right, Dylan?
Well, first of all, I'd like to mention that while I predict these matches, I'm also going to be predicting which night that each match will go to, because WWE has not stated, as we are recording this right now, which night each match will go to. And I'm going to say this match will go to night 2, which will be on Sunday. And I think I'm going to say Otis, just because I would say that's a safe route. However, this can go either way because I feel the storyline is going to continue still after this. But definitely either way, winner still makes sense, whatever way they go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say that Otis is going to win, get his redemption, and hopefully figure out kind of who's been behind the whole, who's getting in between Otis and Mandy. Obviously, we know that Dolph Ziggler has been trying to basically steal, quote unquote, Mandy from Otis, and there may be someone else also behind that. Could be Sonya Deville, but who knows? I'm going to say Otis wins this match. Let's move on to the Women's Tag Team Championship match between the Kabuki Warriors, and they are going up against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I'm going to make my prediction. As much as I would love to see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross win the tag team titles for the second time, I'm going to say that the Kabuki Warriors retain this time. I don't know much else to say about this match. I think right now, of course, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross have the upper hand, but we'll see what happens this weekend. And for this match, I might predict what night it's going to be on. It might be the first night, I think. So, Dylan, let's move on to you, secondly.
All right, so what I have listed, because I have written out a full card and basically where everything's going to go. If there are pre-show matches, I think this match will be a pre-show match only because there hasn't been much of a build-up. It basically just got made like last week or whatever, so there hasn't been really much of a build-up to it, and I think it's going to be the pre-show match of night 2. And I think that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross will win the women's tag team titles just because they haven't really been doing much with Kabuki Warriors as the women's tag team champions. And I feel that, I don't know, there's the rumors going around also that like Kairi Sane may be leaving WWE soon. And this could be the way to basically confirm those rumors. But also I feel Asuka should just stay singles. I feel they shouldn't be a tag team anymore. That's just my opinion.
Okay, Paul?
First off, I do have 2 dogs here. So if you hear them barking, playing, general roughhousing, I am sorry. Like they're doing now, the bad boys. What can you do? Anyways, as far as this match goes, Kyrie, yeah, might be leaving soon. I don't know. Obviously, nobody knows for sure until it happens. And I think WWE is going to be confident that they can get a deal done with Kyrie, and therefore, at least for the time being, Kabuki Warriors will remain the tag team champions. But that said, with this whole situation, and I do kind of want to touch on this just for a moment, nobody really knows what's happening moving forward after WrestleMania as far as WWE is concerned. We have heard that the state of Florida has issued a mandatory stay-at-home order, which obviously shuts down pretty well every business, including the WWE. You know what? I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to say they can't be certain they're going to get a deal done. There might not be any shows after this for a little while anyway. So I'm going to say that they're going to play it safe. They don't want another Bret Hart. They don't want another CM Punk. They are going to have Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross win the tag team championship.
All right. Interesting prediction there. Let's move on to the Intercontinental Championship match. So Sami Zayn has to defend his Intercontinental Championship against Daniel Bryan. Sami Zayn has Cesaro and Shinsuke in his corner. Daniel Bryan has Drew Gulak in his corner. This one is going to be a pretty great match, in my opinion, or at least I hope. And I don't know. I want to see Daniel Bryan win this match. So that's my prediction. I think it is much deserved that Daniel Bryan gets the win here. And let's move on to Paul.
Going on to me. Okay. Boys, seriously? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. They're playful dogs. You know what? Sami Zayn has, and I say it time and time again, Sami Zayn is one of the most consistent performers in the WWE right now. He has deserved this opportunity to be the Intercontinental Champion. I don't see that ending here. I see Sami Zayn retaining the title, perhaps via like a disqualification victory for Daniel Bryan. I don't know, but I do see one way or another Sami Zayn leaving WrestleMania still the Intercontinental Champion.
All right, Dylan.
All right, so this match I'm predicting will actually be on night 1, and it will actually kick off the main show. First of all, Intercontinental title, it's got so much prestige. It's mainly the workhorse's title. And I am going to say that Daniel Bryan becomes the new Intercontinental Champion just because I feel like Sami Zayn is basically that transitional guy. I feel like it's been the plan since like at least Royal Rumble, like that to have Daniel Bryan become the Intercontinental Champion again because of the fact that he kind of was robbed of his first reign because he won it at WrestleMania 31. He only got to defend it maybe once, and then he got injured, and that led to what would have been his first retirement. So I feel Daniel Bryan's going to get the title back, and you'll actually see the Intercontinental Champion defended more often. I mean, the way they have went to this was a little weird because it was Nakamura's champion, and then he dropped it to Strowman, who would then drop it to Sami Zayn in a 3-on-1 handicap match. I personally would have rather seen Daniel Bryan and Nakamura in this kind of match because you would have gotten such a great kind of strong style technical match. That would have been such a great kickoff match and such a great workhorse match. But I'm still fine with Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn. They'll probably kind of go their old roots of Ring of Honor, but not so much because WWE kind of has some restrictions when it comes to how a match should be made. But I still think this can be a great opening match, and I'm excited to see Daniel Bryan as the new Intercontinental Champion.
All right, let's move on to Edge versus Randy Orton in a last man standing match. And this one is also going to be a great match, in my opinion. Dylan, let's start with you this time.
I feel like we're all going to have the same prediction. That's Edge. I mean, this is going to be his first singles match back since coming out of retirement. And it's going to be, I like to see how this goes because of the fact that I feel this could be one of those, I guess there's been rumored matches that are going to get that like movie feel. So I don't know if they're going to like fight in the ring or they're going to get some sort of, how do I compare this? Maybe like that Hollywood street fight that Roddy Piper and Goldust had at WrestleMania 12. It might be that kind of thing because of the fact of last man standing and a movie feel at the same time. Yeah, I can't really see Orton winning. Although I love Randy Orton. I just think this is Edge needs this. So, and I should mention, I predict this will be on night 2.
Yeah, that makes sense. Paul,
on Sunday.
Robbie, you there?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, you just get a little frozen. So yeah. There we go. You're back.
All right. Your turn, Paul.
My turn? Okay. Yeah, Edge. It's his first singles match in 9 years. It's the first traditional match, I'll say, since we last saw him defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Alberto Del Rio at WrestleMania 27. I gotta say, 9 years has flown by so quickly. And we've seen so much, yet it feels like it's been a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Based on what we saw at Royal Rumble, Edge still has it, you know? This is going to be one of those matches that just steals the show. It's going to steal night 2, I think, if that holds up. Either night it's on, it's going to steal the show. Yeah. Let's just put it that way. Edge and Randy Orton, obviously so much similarity. They know so much of what they want to do with one another. This is just one of those matches where no matter who wins, it's just going to be great to watch. But yeah, Edge takes this, and it's not even going to be close.
Yeah, you guys summed it up pretty well. I'm also going to go with Edge in this match. It just makes sense. Let's move on to Elias versus King Corbin. We know, well, most of you know, if you watched SmackDown recently, that Elias did take that fall off of, I guess, I don't know what you would call it, part of like a stage?
Like a platform.
Yeah.
We've seen it before. I imagine that leads into like someone's office or something, you know?
Something like that. So yeah, we don't know if Elias is going to be 100% in this match, but it will be interesting to see what unfolds. I'm going to quickly predict that Elias wins this match. I think Elias is the odds-on favorite to win this match, in my opinion. Paul, what do you think?
I wholeheartedly disagree. This match is King Corbin's to win. Absolutely. As great as Elias has been lately, you know, you mentioned it yourself. He took that 10, 15-foot fall, whatever it was, onto the floor. Corbin is going to take full advantage of that, and he is going to come out with a victory. And I hope next year, I'm going to make a prediction right now. WrestleMania 37, provided it goes on as scheduled in Hollywood or whatever, WrestleMania 37, King Corbin will be the Intercontinental Champion heading into the event.
Interesting. Dylan?
All right. So first of all, night 1. Not exactly. I think it'll be closer to the end of the show, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's either going to be semi-main, just because sometimes WWE likes to put matches that like, in like the semi-main, or it's going to be like third last. Like it's going to be one of the last matches, but not the last, of course. I'm going to say Elias due to interference from Rob Gronkowski.
Really? That's interesting.
I mean, it kind of makes sense in a way, but yeah, let's move on to Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Paul, we'll start with you on this one.
Okay. This one's just random for me. Ew, this is so weird. You know what? I don't know why, but Aleister Black is really coming to me every time I start to think about it. As much as I know it probably will be Bobby, I'm gonna say Aleister Black.
All right, Dylan.
This match will be pre-show match or night one. So now I've cleared up the pre-show. Once again, it's the same thing as the Kabuki Warriors match. There's absolutely like no build up to this between the two. The two have never went like face to face in a confrontation yet. And the only thing Alistair's really done is just beat a bunch of jobbers every week, or just like people from NXT that like haven't gotten any TV time yet in matches that are less than like 5 minutes. So I'm still going to say Aleister Black. And hopefully this leads to Aleister Black eventually becoming the United States champion before SummerSlam or at SummerSlam. I want to see him with the title soon. But yeah, Aleister Black.
All right, and moving on to myself for my prediction. I'm going to also go with Aleister Black in this match. I can't really see. Well, I don't know. There's part of me that kind of doubts Aleister Black winning this match only because Lana could possibly get. Well, I mean, isn't Lana technically out?
Yeah, it says Bobby Lashley with Lana on the Wikipedia site.
So I'm going to go with Aleister Black as my safe pick for this match. And we're going to move on now to the...
Before we move on, we should say we aren't taking into account any reported absences from any websites out there at all. We're going with the card as is currently written on Wikipedia at 3:30 p.m. on April 3rd. So if you're wondering, why are you mentioning this match? Why are you mentioning this guy? They're supposed to be out. That's why. Because we don't know any of the official changes, so we're going on as though it's business as usual.
Yeah. All right. So as I was saying, moving on to the Raw Tag Team title match, we have the Street Profits defending their tag titles against Angel Garza, and it was supposed to be Andrade as the tag partner, but it has been confirmed that he does have a hip injury, so Andrade is out of this match. And replacing him is NXT superstar Austin Theory. It's going to be interesting to see how the pair of Austin Theory and Angel Garza work. But I'm going to say that Street Profits are retaining. Dylan?
All right, so this match, night one, and I'm going to say Street Profits because, I don't know, Austin Theory and Angel Garza is such a random tag team, and they haven't really tagged before. I mean, you got a glimpse of it, I think, this past Monday on Raw with that, like, 6-man tag, I'm pretty sure. But, I mean, it would have been more believable if it was Angel Garza and Andrade as a team to possibly take. But I still think Street Profits, they're going to carry those belts for a little bit longer. So, yeah, Street Profits.
Yeah. Paul?
Yeah, Street Profits. If Andrade was still in action for this match, then maybe. But as this match stands right now, it's going to be Street Profits. And it's going to be Street Profits for a long time, I think. Not a long time. Maybe they'll drop him at SummerSlam. But, not longer than that.
Yeah. All right. The next match listed here on Wikipedia, The Miz and John Morrison defend their SmackDown tag titles against The New Day and the Usos in a triple threat ladder match. Paul, we'll start with you on this one.
Okay. I'm just going to ask you guys something. Isn't it awesome that The Miz and Morrison are back together? No pun intended. I love this tag team. Just awesome together. I got to stop using awesome when referring to these two, but it does have the nostalgia bug going a little bit for me, obviously, because they were such a huge tag team a decade ago. My God. Time flies.
Oh, yes.
Time flies. But, I'm going to say Miz and Morrison retain. But if the titles change hands, it's going to be the Usos.
Yeah.
So
You know what?
basically the New Day ain't winning. Because of course, by how I play HQ trivia back in the day, that means the New Day definitely are winning, but I'm standing by what I'm saying.
All right. You know what? I'll agree and say that Miz and Morrison retain here, and like you said, Paul, if there was a team that was going to win this match other than Miz and Morrison, then it would be the Usos, in my opinion. However, I think that Miz and Morrison will hold the SmackDown tag titles for quite some time. And we'll move on to Dylan and his prediction.
All right, so this match, night 2, especially if you have a gimmick match like a ladder match, they're definitely doing it night 2. Night 2 is mostly going to be more of the story-driven matches, which this one kind of is, but not really. But, okay, so anyways, for sure, New Day will not win this match. I think they were only placed in here because of the fact like they wanted New Day in a spot at WrestleMania. Plus, it's really been multi-man tag team matches the last at least 5 years now, if I'm not mistaken, for tag titles. But I'm going to go with Miz and Morrison. I feel like for them to drop them right now, just part of me would just shatter. But yes, I would agree with what Paul would say is that if it were to change hands, the Usos would take the belts. And a part of me hopes for a decent moment. I don't know why. And I just thought of this now, like, you know, Biggie and Kofi, they're in there like, we'll get him next time. And just boom, heel turn. Biggie turns heel, goes off, does a singles run, especially with Xavier out for the next at least 6 more months. Because I think it's like 12 to 14 for the Achilles injury. Just have some sort of, and then even like Xavier comes back and I don't know. But that would be great. But yeah, Miz and Morrison still champs.
All right. Interesting theory there. Before we move on, did you guys see the music video, I guess you could call it, of Hey
I
Hey?
haven't had a chance to watch it.
No.
But I've heard awesome. There we go, using awesome again. I've heard great things about that music video. Boy,
Wait, what music video are we talking about?
Morrison and
Miz and Morrison just dropped like a music video the other day on WWE social media. I think it was basically them just basically cutting a big old promo on the Usos.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. All right, let's move on quickly to the match between Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. I'm kind of torn on this match.
You're kind of torn? I'm definitely torn.
uh,
Dylan, stall for time. Make up our minds.
yeah, Dylan.
You first, Dylan.
All right, so we got the match between the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens. And I wasn't going to do that with all these matches because, like, I don't have all the participants
This isn't a
in Funko Pop form. But anyways, so this will be night 2, and this will 100%, and I can't see it not doing this, kick off night 2. Like, it's going to be the opening match, and it's a potential show-stealing match. Yeah, this was a very, very hard match to decide because I think it could go either way. But I'm going to say, just because of the way they've been kind of making the storyline, that it's going to go towards Kevin Owens. So I'm going to say Kevin Owens for the fact that also, like, you know, even though Seth Rollins is like, oh, you've never had a really great WrestleMania moment. And that totally was written by WWE to not mention that Kevin Owens won the U.S. title from Chris Jericho a couple years ago at WrestleMania.
We don't talk about that.
Exactly. That's why I would say Rollins was forced to say that. But regardless.
And even then, I'm just going to cut you off for just a second. Even then, like, wasn't it on like a WWE 24 that Vince basically told Kevin straight up that match sucked? Basically. And that's probably more where it comes from than anything if you're watching it from strictly a WWE fan's perspective. It's not so much mentioning Jericho, it's that Vince acknowledged that the match was not the greatest. It wasn't what he wanted.
Yeah. But I think either way, and I'm going to say this as a prediction for after WrestleMania, whether Kevin Owens wins or Seth Rollins wins, regardless, Seth Rollins is going to go after the WWE Championship.
Okay. Paul, have you made up a decision yet?
I have But it's not even that, like, anyone made up my mind for me. I've said it time and time and time again. Seth Rollins is the best thing in the WWE. Whenever you need him to pull off an incredible match, he's always there. The story might look like it's going to go towards Kevin, but how do you not go against Seth Rollins on this one, honestly? It's going to be like Seth Rollins with some sort of interference. I don't know who would. I know that he's got a couple of people, but I don't know. Like I said, I keep hearing things, and it sounds like everyone in his corner is out. But I don't know. I gotta feel like it's gonna be Seth here.
All right. My prediction, plain and simple, Kevin Owens.
Oh, geez. You had to steal my shtick. God damn it, pal.
I believe that gives me instant heat, but oh well.
I don't have a lighter near me, so you know.
That's all right. Yeah, I'm going to go with Kevin Owens in this match. I feel like this story between him and Seth Rollins has been basically unraveling pretty well, and it culminating hopefully at Mania with Kevin Owens winning. Safe. That's my safe pick.
Hey!
So, anyways, moving on to the next match.
They're still learning.
That's all right. Mine is too. Moving on to the Boneyard match between AJ Styles and The Undertaker. This one is going to be interesting to see how it goes down. Paul?
So it is worth mentioning, I haven't been paying as much attention as I would have liked to everything. But when I do hover my cursor on Wikipedia over Boneyard match, link for a Buried Alive match comes up. So I'm not sure if that's what they're running with or if it's just a coincidence. I don't know. But either way, with all the trash that AJ had been throwing towards Undertaker's family, specifically Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool. Undertaker wins. No. AJ wins due to interference gone wrong from Michelle.
Interesting.
That's as much as I would like to say Undertaker wins because you don't bet against the Undertaker ever. I think this one's going to be AJ because of something Michelle did. But if there is no interference whatsoever, then Undertaker wins, I think.
Okay. Dill?
Oh, geez. I'm more than certain I had a dream about this last night and how this whole match was going to play. So obviously I had imagined the Boneyard match happening at some sort of gravesite. Like, I couldn't see it being any other place. Like, it's getting the movie treatment for sure. Like, there's no doubt. And it also works in the Undertaker's favor because I don't think he has to take so many bumps or any at all. So I see AJ Styles in this graveyard. He's waiting for Taker. And first half of the match, he's American Badass. And I'm going to mark out huge because that was my childhood right there. He's going to come up in the motorcycle. He's like, all right, let's fight. Bump, 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 bump. They fight, right? And at some point, the OC comes in, interferes. And if it's Buried Alive, right, they will bury Undertaker. But they haven't won yet because, Hand will come out of the grave. And then the second half of the match, he's the dead man. And then he just takes out everyone. And the Undertaker prevails.
That could be interesting. I forgot about the OC entirely. Oh.
Okay. So apparently, I just got a notification saying that the 40-minute time limit that we are supposed to have is almost out, and they have removed the time limit entirely. So
because you upgraded it, apparently. You upgraded the account.
Yeah, I got that notification too.
So that's cool.
That's why we're all like, okay.
Yeah.
So you know what? We were going to do Night of Wrestling too big for just one part. Now we don't have to do that.
No, I guess not, which is perfect. So I'm going to just move into my prediction quickly, even though we don't really have a time limit anymore. But I'm going to say The Undertaker. Dylan?
Okay, forgot to mention. I would say this is night 1, considering that Edge and Orton would be night 2, and there's no way both of those are going to be in the same night. So night 1 for this match.
Okay.
So tomorrow night, which I'm pumped.
Right. So again, as we keep saying, tonight or Sunday, yes, WrestleMania is 2 nights. So the first half will be tomorrow, Saturday, starting at 7. And then, of course, the start time for Sunday is also 7. So you're not missing much there, I guess, in information regarding that.
Boys.
Let's move on to...
They're fighting over like a rope, you know.
Yeah.
They do what dogs do. I'm sorry.
All right. Actually, speaking of mine's actually kind of laying on my foot and sleeping right now. But moving on to the 5-way elimination match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, we have Bayley defending against Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina. Dylan, let's get your opinion on this match first.
I feel like this match possibly is one of, if not the matches that I least care about. I'm not really, like, obviously they made it a multi-person match so they can fit as many people as possible. But it's like, there's not really much star power when it comes to this match. You got Bayley, Sasha Banks, and then maybe a little bit of Naomi. But then you got Tamina, who's going to have her first match back in how long? And it's straight into a women's title match. And then you got Lacey Evans, who's wrestled for the title like 5 times, lost all 5 times. But I can see this going 2 ways. Bayley retains or Sasha Banks wins the belt. But I feel like they're just teasing the whole possible of the breakup of Sasha Banks and Bayley kind of thing.
They've been teasing it for 3 years.
But it's like...
I'm sorry, but they've been teasing it for 3 years.
So I'm just going to go safe bet Bayley retains.
Well,
I'm going to say, here's how I think it's going to go. The match is going to come down to Sasha, Bayley, and Lacey, okay? Bayley walks forward a little bit. Sasha rolls her up. 1, 2, 3. Bayley gets up, starts freaking out. What the heck are you doing? Rah, rah, rah. Starts pummeling Sasha. Lacey just kind of stays aside, right? Ref eventually gets them out, gets Bayley out. Sasha's like, you do what you got to do. It's for the title, whatever. Turns around into the women's right. 1, 2, 3. Lacey Evans is the new SmackDown Women's Champion.
interesting. Yeah, this one is kind of a bit of a tough one for me to decide a winner. I kind of want to go with Sasha Banks with this one. So we each have our own different opinion on this match. Also, Dylan, did you make a prediction on what night this is going to be on?
I forgot to, but this will be night 1.
Okay. All right. Next match we're going to talk about is a Firefly Funhouse match with The Fiend going up against John Cena. This has The Fiend written all over it. That's my prediction. And there's nothing more to say, really. I think, John Cena's, returning for the first time in months, I would say. Even maybe a year. I don't know how long it's been since he's been gone.
His last appearance, I say appearance because it wasn't a match. His last appearance was at last year's WrestleMania when he reprised the Doctor of Thugonomics and beat the heck out of Elias.
Right.
As for his last match, I want to say it was like the Mania before or something like that, or like the Saudi Arabia show immediately after Mania, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think it actually, he didn't wrestle at Mania, and he hasn't wrestled a Saudi show since I think the first one. And then he's like, no, I'm done with these Saudi shows. I think it was when they did Super Showdown in Australia, and they had that like kind of multi-man tag match, and he debuted the Lightning Fist like finish.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, regardless, my prediction is going to be The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Paul?
I think this sets up a 2-night thing, which we'll get into when the time comes. But I do see The Fiend winning this match, but that won't be the last we see of The Fiend at WrestleMania. And again, we'll get into that when the time comes.
Okay. And Del?
I'm going to say both, I think, with my mind and my heart, that The Fiend will win. Firefly Funhouse, we don't know what this kind of match is, first of all. I feel like it's going to be something similar, but hopefully better than that House of Horrors match that happened with, was it an Orton in the case? But especially for sure, this will get a movie feel, and that this would be a perfect time for Bray Wyatt to get his WrestleMania 30 redemption without having potentially John Cena getting pinned, if that's the scenario. Because I feel like they want to keep Cena strong, even though how long is Cena going to be wrestling for? And it's not going to be so often with his movies.
This is going to be my second prediction. Okay. Obviously, John Cena has done a lot for the WWE over the last 18 years. There's no doubt about it. But I think with him taking on more and more things outside of the WWE, he is on the other side of 40 now, which doesn't really matter considering some of the other matches, but still. I think this will be John Cena's last match. I think The Fiend will retire John Cena.
I think Mick Foley actually predicted that in an interview. He said that especially with the promos Cena's been doing on SmackDown, he's kind of like, he's talking about how the future, they need to focus more on the future rather than, you know, guys like John Cena and maybe Undertaker and all that to do all that. But yeah, it would be cool if that's the final match of John Cena and that he puts over The Fiend. And yeah, this kind of, I feel I'm more pumped. This is probably the most pumped I'm about. This is what I'm most pumped about for WrestleMania, honestly, is the match between these two. I was more excited about this match than the potential what could have been Roman Reigns versus Fiend match, as it was being predicted back at like Rumble at least. And yeah, Fiend Bray Wyatt over 100%.
Okay, let's move on to the Raw Women's Championship match between Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler. It was at, I believe, last year's WrestleMania that Becky Lynch won the both Raw and SmackDown titles at the time, and Becky has managed to hold on to the Raw Women's Championship for the whole year. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember.
Yeah. She won the belt last year's Mania, so it'll be a year when it comes.
All right, so I do like Becky Lynch. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's time that someone else has the championship, and I think that Shayna is a suitable opponent to take the belt from Becky Lynch. So my prediction is going to be Shayna Baszler, the Queen of Spades. I think that the Kirifuda clutch will overcome the disarm her, and it's pretty much straightforward to the point where, again, my prediction, Shayna Baszler wins and becomes new Raw Women's Champion. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, I've got Shayna Baszler all over this one. Becky's been great as the Raw Women's Champion, but at the same time, I think for Becky, it was always more about the chase of the title over her actually having it.
Yeah.
Now that chase is long gone, and Becky is just... It's time to reinvigorate Becky, and in order to have that happen, I think she needs to take the loss here. I think Shayna Baszler leaving as Raw Women's Champion is the smartest bet. And who knows? Maybe that'll lead to something with her and Rousey down the line. I wouldn't mind that. But as things stand right at this moment, Shayna Baszler will be the new Raw Women's Champion.
Dylan?
All right, so I'd like to mention that both this match and the previous match we talked about would be night 2. So this match, now, I love Becky Lynch, and I think that, especially this past year, like, she's done great with the Raw Women's Champion, and, like, hell, I wouldn't even care if she won this match, but I think it's now time to drop the belt, and that Shayna Baszler would take the belt at WrestleMania, and who knows, maybe Shayna Baszler will have it for the next year, because it does seem realistic for a former UFC fighter to hold the belt for a year.
Yeah, and I mean, not only that, but Shayna also had a great run as NXT Women's Champion, and she held the NXT Women's Championship for a long time as well. So, again, it's safe to say Shayna's probably going to win this match. Moving on, though, now to what is listed as the Universal Championship match, Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. I don't know what to say about this match, to be honest.
You want me to take this one?
I was going to throw it to Dylan first.
Okay, you can throw it to Dylan first.
Okay, so night 2. And if it was, well, we obviously basically know already that it's not going to be Spear versus Spear at WrestleMania anymore. But if it was, I would say this would be the main event of night 2. But for some reason, part of me doesn't believe that this will actually be the main event of WrestleMania now, that it's not Spear versus Spear. But it depends also what happens. There have been rumors, I'm sure it's not any brand new news, that there have been rumors that Braun Strowman is going to take the place of Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, which I feel like, but I feel either way, whether it was Spear versus Spear or if it's a new opponent, Goldberg is dropping the Universal title to whoever it may be.
Okay. Paul?
Now, the only reason we're bringing up that Roman is out is because he has more or less confirmed it himself on his Instagram page. I know we were saying we were doing this business as usual, obviously. But it has been confirmed by everybody except the WWE that Roman has nothing to do with this match, basically. If this is just ends up being one big swerve and Roman is in fact in the match, and we don't know that, obviously, then Roman will take the title. Whoever ends up facing Goldberg will take the title. However, I do think I would see, after the Firefly Funhouse match, The Fiend is doing his thing or whatever, and he's celebrating, and then suddenly Goldberg appears. And someone says something along the lines of, you know what, you've earned a rematch or whatever. I don't know how it exactly would work out, but basically, somehow, The Fiend would get a shot at the Universal title, and he would then take the title back from Goldberg. So whoever ends up facing Goldberg leaves the Universal Champion. I think it's going to be Bray, but it's anyone who ends up facing him, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that Goldberg is walking out of Mania as the Universal Champion. I'm going to agree. As much as I would love to see The Fiend, have that moment and win back the Universal Championship, I feel like it probably is going to be Braun Strowman, and therefore I still feel like Braun Strowman would win in the matchup between the two. And there you have it, I guess. Moving on to the next match that we're going to talk about, the WWE Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. So, of course, we have the Royal Rumble winner, the men's Royal Rumble winner, I should say, for the year, Drew McIntyre. And, it's going to be Claymore Country versus Suplex City. And I don't know. Like, part of me says Brock Lesnar, just because, there's going to be no fans in the crowd. So if Drew McIntyre wins, then, not really the WrestleMania moment with the huge pop and everything. But at the same time, you know that you have fans watching around the world. And in the same fact, my prediction is going to be Drew McIntyre wins this match. I've been waiting to see Drew McIntyre as a world champion for a very long time. And I think that this is going to be his moment, and he's going to win the WWE Championship from Brock Lesnar. Paul, moving on to you.
A WrestleMania moment is, even with no fans, is still a WrestleMania moment. This entire card, for that matter, just because of the crazy and wacky circumstances surrounding it, is still a WrestleMania moment. For that reason, it is time for Drew McIntyre to finally win his first world championship. And, there will be plenty of time to celebrate later in front of a crowd when this is all said and done. Whenever that is, we don't know, obviously. But I think Drew McIntyre will win this match. He will be the new WWE champion. And we will go from there.
Okay. And Dill?
All right, so main event of night one. And for once, on a technicality, it will actually be true that the Royal Rumble winner will main event WrestleMania. And Drew McIntyre. I think it's one of the easiest predictions to say is Drew McIntyre. I can't see Brock Lesnar sticking around after WrestleMania. He probably won't show up until closer to SummerSlam season. So Drew McIntyre is a perfect person to take the belt from. And it also sucks because in WWE's case, usually after WrestleMania, they go and do the European tour. And it would have drawn quite a bit of money for the European market when a person from Scotland, which is in Europe, is your main champion of your company. So Drew McIntyre wins this match. It's the main event of night one, and it's going to be awesome.
All right, and we will finish off this episode of Night of Wrestling with the NXT Women's Championship match, I should say. Rhea Ripley defending against Charlotte Flair. Now for this match, it's kind of been a toss-up for me on who I think is going to win this match. But I'm going to say Rhea Ripley retains. I don't see Charlotte Flair winning the NXT Women's Championship match. That means we would be basically losing her to NXT, so to speak, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But it's different. It's a change, obviously, from her choosing either one of the either Raw or SmackDown Women's Championships. But picking the NXT Women's Championship, was that a smart thing to do? Probably not, in my opinion. I'm going to say Rhea Ripley. Dylan, what do you think?
So first of all, night one, and it could go either way, night one or night two, but I chose night one because night one being on Saturday, that's when NXT TakeOver Tampa would have happened. So realistically, having an NXT title held on a night that basically NXT TakeOver was supposed to happen would make sense. I'm very looking forward to this women's match. This is probably my favorite women's match that's happening at WrestleMania. It's between two people that are just some of my favorites, and it's kind of a dream match of sorts. And my prediction, though, is that Charlotte Flair is becoming the NXT Women's Champion. It was very hard to think of what would happen, but I think also they got to find some sort of way to draw some ratings into NXT, not just because of like the Wednesday night war, so to speak, but because of the fact, you're back to empty arena. And I mean, it's time for Charlotte to find some new competition. and she's basically went through the entire main roster. I think, I'd love to see Charlotte Flair versus like Candice LeRae or Bianca Belair, even Io Shirai. Like, it'd be great. Do I think, though, possibly could this mean Rhea Ripley switches places with Charlotte and she goes to the main roster? Who knows? That would be great, but I don't know. But either way, this is going to be a show-stealing match.
All right. Great prediction from you, Dill. We'll finish off with Paul now.
Okay. I have in this match Rhea Ripley winning. I agree with the sentiments of Dylan that Charlotte going to NXT would help things a little bit for NXT, obviously, in the ratings. But you don't necessarily need Charlotte winning the championship to do that. You could have her win the title somewhere down the line, maybe on the first NXT back when this is stabilized, I guess, is the best word for it. But for this moment, for WrestleMania, I have Rhea Ripley retaining.
All right. Well, there you have it. This has been another episode of Night of Wrestling. If you like this video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button. If you're new to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell beside it to be notified of when future videos like this one gets
Hold on. You know what? Hold on. This is overused, but I'm wearing my stripes. I haven't reffed a match since February. So if you really like that video, you want to know more about when Night of Wrestling is posting a new video, you ring that bell so that way you get all the new notifications.
All right, there you go. There you have it. And also, leave a comment letting us know what your predictions are for WrestleMania. Do you think that Drew McIntyre is going to become new WWE champion? Do you think that somehow AJ Styles might beat The Undertaker? Let us know. Leave a comment. But until next time, guys, this has been Night of Wrestling, and we will see you all next time. Paul, do you want to end us off with a final count?
Burn it down.
Well, Dylan kind of stole it, so you know what? Let's just wrap it up.
All right. 1, 2, 3. We're out of here.